I want to have a quick conversation with you about Amazon MCF versus FBA. So we want to really do a compare and contrast so we understand exactly what's really happening here. So what's the overview here? So what is MCF? Everybody knows about, what FBA is, but MCF is less known. So when you think about MCF, it's kind of similar to FBA. So when you employ MCF, you rely on Amazon to pick, pack, and ship sales orders for you, as well as store your inventory. The key difference is that FBA is strictly for items that are sold on Amazon. Meanwhile, MCF is for all non-Amazon orders. I want to repeat that. MCF is for all non-Amazon orders. So it's worth noting that you can leverage MCF with or without FBA. In other words, you can list your MCF inventory on Walmart, Marketplace, eBay, and other channels without making it available on Amazon. That said, Amazon is the captain of its own ship here. If there is a traffic jam at one of its fulfillment centers and it has to make a split-minute decision over which orders to prioritize, then FBA orders will always take priority. Okay. So I want to really insist on that because some MCF users have been frustrated. Actually, they have been frustrated about certain situations where they went to social media to actually air their displeasure at the MCF sort of delays. But it is what it is. FBA orders will always take priority over MCF. It is what it is. Okay, and so when you think about MCF, what should you be thinking about? Well, in terms of the summary of MCF benefits, MCF offers FBA-like services for non-Amazon sales. This is important to keep that in mind. And also, the program allows you to keep inventory together and streamline fulfillment between Amazon and non-Amazon channels. And you don't have to sell your items on Amazon to use MCF, but you will have to purchase a seller central account. So you got to have a seller central account to be able to use an MCF account. This is really important. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's conversation. So how do you actually apply for MCF? Well, the thing is that you can apply for MCF through a specific form once you have purchased a seller central subscription. You got to have a seller central subscription first. If you are already an FBA user, you can already leverage MCF since it's technically a program within FBA. Okay. Now, in terms of the coverage, I just want to go a little detail. I want to go granular as to the key differences between FBA and MCF, especially for online entrepreneurs. So basically, while there are many overlaps between the two programs, there are several key differences to remember. So let me first talk about the coverage. Coverage is really important, especially for entrepreneurs who have an international audience. Like if you're selling in multiple countries, you got to have a clear idea about the coverage. So FBA is offered globally via fulfillment centers throughout North America, Europe, Asia, and other locations. So you have, in total, you have about 185 to 200 fulfillment centers across the globe. So we're talking about a very international network of fulfillment centers. Okay. So when you think about FBA, think about the fact that you are actually tapping into Amazon's full force sort of network of fulfillment centers. Okay. 185 to 200. That's really impressive. So to use FBA for international orders, you must actually import your products and sell on the corresponding marketplace. The only exception to this is that if you are selling on one of Amazon's European marketplaces, FBA allows you to fulfill orders across multiple EU marketplaces from the same inventory via the European Fulfillment Network or multi-country inventory. So this is something to really think about. So that's for FBA. In terms of coverage, because I'm just breaking down for you until you have a clear idea what the key differences are between FBA and MCF. So coverage, you have the FBA portion of the FBA part of it. What about MCF? Well, MCF is actually available throughout the US, Australia, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, Mexico, Spain, and the UK. You can see that the coverage area for MCF is more limited, and certain product categories are restricted from MCF, including toys, games, and subscriptions. You could actually, however, apply for an exception and potentially receive approval for these categories. Is totally possible. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about Amazon MCF rather, versus Amazon FBA. Now let's talk about the shipping speed. So the thing is that shipping speed is kind of important, especially if your target audience is really dispersed and geographically speaking. If your target audience is in the States, well, Amazon actually offers a 1 to 2 days, or in some cases 3 days shipping guaranteed. That's not a problem. But if your audience, if you are somewhere in New York and you have a customer in Japan or a customer in Nigeria, for instance, then you might have to think about shipping speed. Shipping speed becomes pretty critical here. So FBA has long been praised for supporting quick deliveries. By default, all Prime orders are eligible for a free 2-day delivery, and yet nowadays 1-day or same-day delivery is becoming the new standard. In fact, Amazon can already ship to 72% of the US population within 1 day and can deliver more than 100,000 products to customers as quickly as 5 hours. Think about it, 5 hours. That's kind of crazy. But hey, listen, that's how e-commerce competition is really, coming up right now. And the last part is, as an FBA seller, you don't have to pay an additional fee for either service, and ASINs that meet certain criteria, like being lightweight and having enough inventory, will automatically become eligible for 1 day or next day shipping. And ASIN eligibility actually is also based on demand. So if demand around your product spikes during a certain season, then Amazon may temporarily move your inventory into fulfillment centers that can support faster shipping. So this is something to really think about, and not only in terms of how you position yourself, but how you structure your operation down the road. So that's for FBA. MCF supports standard shipping, so 3 to 5 business days, 2-day delivery expedited, and 1-day delivery priority. Unlike FBA, you will have to pay per package rates, which vary depending on the shipping speed and your package size and weight. So this is kind of important. And so this brings us to the next section, which is really about fees. Now let's talk about fees here. So when we talk about fees, it's important to really understand that FBA lets you circumvent individual fees for the shipping, handling, and packaging of your products. Instead, what happens here is that you actually pay a flat fee per unit sold, and this fee is based on the weight and size of your item. So Amazon offers an FBA revenue calculator inside Seller Central to help you estimate this cost. So aside from fulfillment fees, you'll have to pay monthly storage fees in addition to standard referral fees and any cost for sending your products to one of Amazon's warehouses. So in terms of operational efficiency, you are really well served here. Keep in mind though that all of your products must be properly prepped for FBA. Should you fail to meet this criteria, you will have to pay for unplanned services and other fees to be aware of. You have long-term storage fees in the event that your item sits on Amazon shelves for more than 365 days, removal order fees, and returns processing fees for certain product categories. So that's for FBA. MCF charges you for storage and fulfillment. So fulfillment costs associated with MCF are generally more expensive than FBA fees. And as mentioned a little earlier, factor in your item size, weight, and desired shipping speed. So this is kind of important to keep in mind. And fulfillment fees actually starts at $399 per unit with tier discount on multi unit orders, and this is kind of cool. And you can go to Amazon website to view the full rate card. And apart from fulfillment, you will have to anticipate subscription fees for a seller central account, regardless of whether you sell on Amazon.com or not. If you don't sell on Amazon, then you won't have to worry about referral fees, but you will have to watch out for long-term storage and removal order fees, just like any FBA seller. Okay, and additional but optional fees include a 5% surcharge for any orders that block Amazon logistics and returns processing fees if you want Amazon to handle returns for you. So you got to be really clear about what really happens here. Boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about Amazon MCF versus FBA. Let me just kind of talk to you about branding here. So when we talk about MCF versus FBA, what are we talking about here? So FBA orders are shipped with Amazon Prime branding. Your customers will receive boxes with a familiar black and blue tape or plastic bags sporting the Amazon Prime logo. MCF orders, by contrast, can be sent in blank boxes. This is in direct response to a pushback from other third-party marketplaces, think eBay and Walmart marketplaces, some of which expressly prohibit the use of Amazon logistics and Amazon branded boxes. So this is kind of important. So by paying a 5% to block Amazon logistics and opting into MCF blank box order fulfillment, you can safely use MCF for practically any sales channels. So blank box inventory is kept separate from your FBA inventory, though it can be used to fulfill regular FBA orders too. So because blank box packaging is only offered at certain Amazon warehouses, you will have to plan for some downtime as Amazon transfers your inventory for the right locations. And let's talk about returns and post-purchase logistics. FBA automatically handles post-purchase logistics, including customer inquiries, refunds, and returns. Amazon does not really they really are really serious about making sure they do not charge you a returns processing fee unless your items belong to a category for which Amazon requires it. This includes apparel and shoes, which are notorious for having a high return rate. Returns processing fees are charged after an item is returned to Amazon's warehouse and is assessed and are based on your product size. So if a customer initiates a return, Amazon will send him or her a shipping label and require the product to be returned within 45 days. Amazon will then debit your account for all or part of the refund value. Once the item reaches an FBA fulfillment center, an Amazon employee will decide whether your product is in sellable or unsellable condition. If Amazon is responsible for any damages, then you will be reimbursed. However, if the item is defective or customer damaged, then you must submit a removal order within 30 days of the return. In some cases, Amazon will automatically replace items by shipping a new item from your inventory without charging the customer. In rarer cases, Amazon may charge the customer a restocking fee and credit it towards your seller account. So this is kind of important to keep in mind. And MCF sellers can choose to receive return items at their own warehouses or at an FBA warehouse. And the benefit of sending items back to FBA is that Amazon will help you to repackage your item so that it can be relisted for sale. But if your product has a short shelf life or is difficult to evaluate in terms of its sellable or unsellable condition, then you probably want to have them shipped directly to you. This will help you to avoid potential inventory removal fees. Now, to initiate a return to Amazon, you have to generate a return merchandise authorization, an RMA, from within Seller Central, and you or the customer will be responsible for paying the cost of shipping, and you will have to refund customers yourself since the payment occurred outside of Amazon. This is kind of important. Now, Amazon does not handle customer service for any MCF orders, including inquiries or replacement requests. Let me talk to you about the differences when we talk about seller badges and privileges, and also and other things. Now, when we talk about seller badges and privileges, FBA is best known for awarding sellers with a highly coveted Prime badge, which is really paramount for ranking high on Amazon's competitive category pages. And similarly, FBA sellers are more likely to win the buy box over non-FBA sellers, since Amazon can guarantee fast and reliable shipping for orders of your products. And not to mention, while non-FBA sellers have to pay or charge their customers for a premium read expedited shipping, FBA sellers offer this for free. In this way, FBA is appealing to sellers and customers alike. So it's one of those things where you have to see what really works for you. And MCF can increase your competitiveness on outside channels. For example, by streamlining fulfillment, you can earn fast shipping badges on Walmart and or eBay. And if your strategy to actually be present on multiple platforms, this could be really cool for you. On Walmart, for example, products with 2 or 3 day delivery options reportedly see a 30% to 50% lift in conversions. Meanwhile, on eBay, you can clinch the top rated seller badge and earn discounts on final value fees by achieving fast on-time delivery. So that's kind of a cool. And MCF can thereby lead to compounding benefits, which can drive growth across multiple channels. So this is kind of cool in terms of functionality there. So what's really the verdict here? I mean, of course, I spoke to you about key differences between FBA and MCF as in terms of coverage, in terms of shipping speed, in terms of fees, in terms of branding, in terms of returns, post-purchase logistics, in terms of seller badges and privileges. So the question is, what's the verdict? Well, MCF, when you really think about it, is an extension of Amazon FBA, but the two are not identical because between varying shipping speeds, cost structures, and levels of support, the two have distinct features that you need to be aware of. And it's one of those things where everything revolves around the kind of vision you have. All in all, MCF makes it a lot easier than ever for you to expand outside of Amazon. And so this is kind of cool. And so you're able to manage operations from start to finish when it comes to MCF. And it's up to you to really see whether or not you want to have an FBA operation or an MCF operation. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I'll talk to you about Amazon MCF versus FBA. So I gave you the overview, and then now I'm doing the recap. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.